Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Society of Like-Minded Men. I'm your host, Ramin Kavon, Chief Grumpy Guy, and this is Tommy Sporletter. Tommy Sporletter.
Correct mundo, Mr. Ramin. How are you, my brother?
I'm well. It's been a heck of a day, man. It's been the kind of week where today is Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Both my wife and I got up this morning and we're like, oh, good, tomorrow's Thursday. And we looked at the calendar and we're like, damn it. It's just one of those, yeah. So anyway, it happens to all of us. But no, so the thing I want to talk about today is, and this came from my activities this afternoon, is learning to cook as a man. It is very, very important. As I told you just before we got on off camera, I spent a lot of my life living alone by choice.
Mhm.
And I had a choice. I could either run myself into the ground financially trying to feed myself by pre-prepared foods,
Yes.
or I could learn to cook. And it took me a while to learn to cook. I made some horrendous mistakes. I remember once, I don't even know how I did it. I put water. I think I was going to boil some pasta one day, and I put water on the stove on high, and I put a bunch of olive oil in it, and I think it formed like a film that sort of kept the steam from escaping.
Sure.
And I went back into the living room, sat down and read, and completely forgot about the pot. And then I hear, boof. And I was like, oh, that's not good. I went into the kitchen and there's olive oil dripping from my ceiling.
You count grilling as cooking?
Yeah, grilling is cooking too.
Because I know a lot of men, and I was more of a griller at one time, like perfected that, but I enjoy cooking. It's experimenting. We've talked about that a lot. And yeah, you were talking, spent a lot of time alone, yours by choice,
Yes.
mine sometimes not so much, but survival mode. And you realized, and I've talked in previous episodes of my journey to being healthier, and part of being the whole thing with health is your meals and your fuel.
Absolutely.
And when you're eating out all the time and you don't know what the hell you're putting in your body, it's that twofold thing. It's the crap that goes in because you really don't know what's there. And even if you go to a quote restaurant that they say everything's from scratch, do you really know what it is? But then the cost of one meal versus shopping for yourself, cooking at home, preparing meals, 5 to 1 at least on a lot of stuff, right? At least.
My wife and I went out for hamburgers, just nothing fancy, just hamburgers the other day. By the time we got, and we were like, we'll get them and we'll bring them home to eat. By the time we got done paying for 2 hamburgers and 2 orders of sweet potato fries, the cost was $74.
Ooh. Well, you are in California.
I am in California. I get that, but ouch.
Ouch. Well, yeah, I'm in Colorado and we're catching up.
I know, everybody is, and it's just there is, and I don't blame the restaurant owners because their cost of just everything has gone up for them. But so the question becomes, if you don't know how to cook, why not?
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. One of the other reasons, obviously, is that for those of you who are single, the ladies really like it.
Oh yeah.
And it's absolutely essential to your well-being, your family's well-being, that you can decide on a given night that I'm going to cook a meal and it is going to be a healthy meal that your family can sit down at the table and enjoy. Or conversely, if it's just you, make yourself a healthy meal so that you can stay healthy, right?
Yeah.
And have the energy to get up in the morning and do the things you want to do.
Yep.
Eating crap is just not sustainable. again, having lived alone a long time, I did that too, but some of it was due to, financial hardships and what have you at that time in my life. I remember at one point this was a long time ago. I had $1.25 left in my pocket until payday. And I went to the local supermarket and they had ramen noodles, 10 for $1.
10 for $1.
And I fed myself on that for a week until I got paid. But here's the deal. I felt like crap after every meal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I fed myself, which means I didn't starve to death.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the net
Yeah.
result for me was lower energy, just felt like crap in general. Um, and so that was one of the motivating factors for me to learn really how to cook. And it is amazing to me how simple people don't know simple ingredients like what's a shallot, right? And it's I actually bought a bag of shallots at a supermarket several years ago, and I'm checking out, and the lady checking me out goes, "What are you going to do with those?" And I'm like, "Cook." I, I don't know what to tell you. It's a shallot. I'm going to cook with it. It's just this notion that we have been convinced to think, as specifically as Westerners, Americans, that food is difficult. And for a lot of us, that food is the enemy. And that's a problem. And that's why many, many, many of us end up in hospitals,
Yeah.
right? Food is not difficult. Food is not the enemy. What food you eat makes a difference. Where
Well,
it
that's
was,
it.
where it was grown, who grew it. That's why farmers markets are
Yeah.
such a good deal. Go for the love of God, go
Support
buy
your
some fresh
local
food.
farmers market. Yeah, it's come that season here where
Yeah.
they're gonna start happening in the summer.
Yeah.
It's it's the ingredients. It's not the processed stuff.
Yeah.
And it
So
doesn't even all have to be, quote, organic,
no, and
because there's such a falsity in that, but it's
there's no real
using
definition of that anyway.
there's not anymore, and it's all convoluted, but it's we talk about that is really feeding your being with foods, ingredients from their natural state, not this processed, you can put it on a shelf and it's gonna last for 45 years.
To your point, this is the argument I have with a lot of people is like, I'll go through a refrigerator and go, that's going in the trash, that's going in the trash, that's going in the
Yeah.
trash. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, if food doesn't go bad, I don't want to eat it. It's not food anymore.
Well, true. Yeah. Right?
Right?
That's so
That
true.
it's you have to be able to know, and it's not about the expiration date. Expiration date's a sell by date, so they can rotate the shelves. That has nothing to
Yeah.
do with whether or not the food is bad. But I think we all know when food is bad,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
what I love is people who will like not look at a particular block of cheese in the refrigerator for like 6 months and then pull it out and it's got this interesting purple color.
Yeah,
And people are
just
like,
cut
well,
it
just
off.
cut a little bit. Maybe I'll do.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. That mold has roots. It's gone into the cheese. You can cut it all you
Yeah.
want. It's too late. Throw it in the
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
But it is this lack of awareness about ingredients, lack of awareness about simple cooking methods. I mean, just the simple make me a hard boiled egg, right? A
Mhm.
lot of people don't know how to do that.
Yep, they don't, but it's not real and it's not hard with all
It's
the
not hard,
technology we have.
but
You
you
can
have.
c
Yeah, but I mean, the reality is, and we're not gonna tell you how to do it here. There are enough YouTube channels with people doing cooking shows. We don't need another another one, but
how to do a hard-boiled egg.
how to do a hard boiled egg. You should be able to do a hard boiled egg. You should be able to do a simple grilled cheese sandwich. You should be able to make take some chicken stock and make a bowl of soup.
Yeah,
We're not saying make the Michelin star kind of stuff. Just make a bowl of soup with some chicken stock. You don't even have to make the chicken stock. You can buy it. Now, if you can learn how to make chicken stock, that is a whole different level
yeah,
of awesomeness. But it's the basics. The thing that we need to do is make sure we teach ourselves and our children the basics of cooking. It's a survival tool. I think the reason that a lot of people don't cook is because they think there's always going to be a Safeway, there's always going to be a Kroger, there's always going to be, what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that may not be the case.
Right.
you know, if at some point everything goes to heck in a handbasket, what's your plan? How are you going to feed yourself? You're going to keep, eating Cheetos until you run out of Cheetos? Then what?
Right.
Right? It's this kind of, well, I can always I get this argument. I can always go to a restaurant. No, that
No.
may not always be the case. That's a fallacy. You should be able to survive on your own, right?
Yeah.
You should be able to provide for yourself, or at least look at something and go, I can make something out of that,
Hmm.
right? And no, it doesn't have to be like they do on TV. We'll give you a basket of really weird ingredients and you should try to make something of it. No, most of us have food, pantry staples.
Yeah,
Make
but
something.
but sometimes, and to that point, sometimes it's kind of fun to just take
Oh
these
yeah,
certain
but yeah,
things and create. And
yes,
if you've never really cooked before,
yeah.
start. We're
Start.
talking about to start something. Have fun with it, enjoy it, and in a lot of ways, if you start to do it, it can almost be therapeutic and
Yeah,
relaxing. And the biggest part, like I said, you know what the hell you're putting in your body.
yeah. You bought it.
Where
You prepared it. You cooked it, and and then you ate it. It's
Yep.
it's you all the way, right? And so
Yeah.
then you can decide, what ingredients do I like? What ingredients do I not like? It's not about going through a frou-frou kind of a restaurant or even a frou-frou kind of a, supermarket. Just basic ingredients. The tip, the stuff that's in the middle of a supermarket in the center as you walk in is designed to make them money
Mhm.
and not provide you with any nutrition.
Right.
Right? If you want nutrition, you have to go all the way to the outside, the produce department, the dairy department, it's the stuff that's on the sides and the back wall. That's where the real nutrition lies,
Yeah.
right? They want you to go longer to get that so that they can sell you boxes they make more money on. They
Mhm.
don't really care if you die early of diabetes or any or heart related issues, as long as they made you buy a few boxes along the way.
Yep.
And it's just, that's
So
their
true.
business. That's their business. But it's
Yep.
not your job to make them money. It's your job to keep you healthy
Yep.
and your family healthy, right? So,
Yep.
and then teach your kids, walk around, pick up an onion. Do you know what a fresh onion smells like? How do you know when an avocado is ready to be eaten, right? These are the basics, right? And I think that's what we are lacking. And let us know in the comments what you think. Are you guys cooks? Do you like cooking? Do you find it enjoyable? Do you find it to be annoying? Tell us what you think, because I think it's essential that as a skill set, in addition to knowing how to do a jump start a car, pump air into a tire, that kind of thing, you need to learn how to cook.
I agree.
It's basic stuff. I just bought a ton of various stocks and broths, and there is we're not in any way or shape, uh, they're not one of our sponsors. There's a company called Supercube, all one word, and they make silicone freezing trays, like for ice
Uh-huh.
cubes,
Mhm.
right? Ice cubes, and they make 1 cup and 2 cup versions as well. So if you like to cook with chicken stock, you can go through and basically fill up the
Fill it
ice
up and
cube tray,
freeze it. Wow.
freeze it, and then when it's done freezing, pop out all the cubes into a Ziploc bag and throw it in the
Mhm.
freezer. Whenever you want some chicken stock, grab a handful of cubes and throw it in your pan, right? Or if you like to do like rice and beans for dinner, right? You can make the rice, you can make the beans, and then put them in the little 1 cup things that comes out, like you can then throw that in a pan. As soon as it warms up, you got a hot meal. You got 5 minutes to a hot meal.
Nice.
Takes a little bit of prep work, right?
Yep.
And they're not that expensive, and they work really really well, and they're completely reusable, right? And
Yeah.
they're heat safe until 500 degrees. So you
I
could even.
invested yep. I invested in, little vacuum. It's a little handheld vacuum sealer.
Oh yeah, Yeah,
and
yeah.
you buy the bags.
Yeah,
So my brother had a bigger industrial one, and this one goes through it. I mean, this is really nice, but for produce and things, so
totally.
you get it and it's got this little circle, but anyways, it's a little handheld one, and just sucking the air out of that stuff and keeping it in the fridge, it makes it last 3 to 4 times longer
Yeah,
than it would in even leftovers. Like, I can, prepackaged steaks, and
totally.
when you buy a
Steak,
bunch,
chicken, fish. Yeah.
put one and the rest and put them in this little vacuum, and, I mean, it's really, really inexpensive, and you can buy the bags, and you can actually rewash the bags and use them if you want. The bags aren't that expensive, but just what it does to
Mhm.
save you time and your prep, and then also the longevity. But even leftovers, it came up with a
Totally.
couple of a dish that it basically vacuum seals it, and a meal that I make, I can eat off some of it, and I honestly, growing up like I did, leftovers was a big thing. We didn't waste, and most everything that my mother cooked or
Yeah.
my aunts or whatnot. My dad wasn't a big cook. I don't remember him cooking. He would grill a little bit, but my mom's and aunts were cooks. But man, they would make meals for frickin' army, and that stuff would last for a week, and I could eat on it for an entire week.
Yeah.
And that's what I do now when I cook. I cook stuff that I like, I enjoy, it's good, and
Yep.
I make sure I have extra, because then you know what? The next 2 days are pretty simple.
Yep. Exactly. And that's kind of why I'm doing the whole the whole super cube thing, because once it's frozen, I can pop them out and do exactly what you do. Stick it in a vacuum seal bag,
Hell yeah.
and I can take that to work and throw it in the microwave.
Yeah,
Right? Instant. I got to eat right out of the bag. Right? You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's there are the possibilities are endless. You can make rice. You can make if your kids like things like oatmeal, you can make the oatmeal ahead of time and freeze it, and then on a given morning throw it in the microwave, empty the bag into a bowl, done. It's already
yeah,
mixed. It's already got all that stuff in it. It's ready to rock and roll. You can feed the kids in a couple of minutes,
yeah.
right? And but it's healthy,
Mhm.
and that's the key. So yeah, it to me there is no downside to feeding yourself, to taking care of yourself, to making sure. I mean, I'll even go to Costco and buy a giant bag of green onions, and I'll chop the tops off and leave the whites, and then I'll separately put those in vacuum seal bags,
Mhm.
right, in usable chunks, so I can take them out and use them in a recipe, and then just throw those in the freezer. They'll last literally for 6 months. I got
Yeah.
when do I want onions? Out it goes. Right?
Buying in yep.
It doesn't have to perish.
Buying in bulk was a great creation. You're a
Oh, please.
Costco guy. I'm a Sam's Club guy.
Yeah,
6 one,
same
half
thing.
dozen of the other. But when I go there, and you can't buy a lot of things. You can get a few things that are kind of individually
Yeah.
packaged, but most of it's bulk. But again, the money, two things: the money that you save,
Mm,
and if you can come home and package those and then freeze those and use them. I mean, it's just over. If you do that for a while, over just even like a 3 month span, the you notice the significance of savings. And then,
yes.
you know
And you'll feel better.
yeah.
That's the
Well,
other
yeah.
that's the other benefit of it is it's like you're eating real food, right? And your body, it's weird. Your body instantly recognizes when you're eating real food,
Well, it does. It does. When
right?
I don't know, it was a couple, 3 weeks ago. I don't know why. The daughter wanted to go. I don't remember, but I can't tell you the last time I stepped foot in a McDonald's. And we went there and we ate, and my mother's like, "Never again."
Yeah, it's
And I did not feel correct
yeah,
for
for like 3
a
days, right?
a couple of days. Yeah, it was just like that, but
Yeah.
and I remember it was not that long. I mean, well, it actually's been quite a while ago, but there was a time when I just put that in my body and my
All the
system
time.
like it was, like it was nothing.
And you had habituated yourself to it,
Well,
right?
that's it. But now
And
my
would
body, after being
mm-mm.
the way I'm now the last 5 plus years, it knows it, and it says, "I don't like that, and I don't like
Yep.
you doing that to
Yep,
me."
exactly, and it's so
So even when I go out to eat now, we're pretty much, pick and choose where we wanna go, and I'm really looking at the
Yeah.
menu and kinda looking at the ingredients and making sure that it's something
Yeah.
that I
Uh,
wanna put
I
in the
will I will actively choose restaurants where the food is obviously to my liking, but are typically run by what I love is going to restaurants that are run by families
Yeah.
because they're eating real food.
Yes.
And I don't care if it's Mexican, Thai, Chinese, Vietnamese, it doesn't matter. If it's a family and if it's like mom and grandma in the kitchen, dude,
The
I'm
moms
there.
and pops. The moms and pops places,
Yeah, exactly. They're the best kind.
you know?
Best
Yeah.
kind of food. Best kind of food. I absolutely love that. I'm a big fan of street food too
Yeah,
because
oh, yeah.
they use the freshest ingredients. I remember Anthony Bourdain was once asked, aren't you afraid of eating street food? And he goes, let me ask you something. Do you think it's a good idea for somebody whose entirety of their life depends on the money they make from selling food to others to poison their customers?
Right? And they go out and
In what
it's that
world does that make sense, right?
local food truck you see, and they're out there at all
Dude,
the events, and the last thing they want is for that. You're exactly right, you
right?
know?
So this is the best food in the world comes off of some of these trucks. They
And
are
if
people.
you wonder, most of them have open windows or an open door on the end, and you can look and watch and see
Yeah,
what they're doing with it,
yep,
you know?
exactly. And they do it because they do it for the love of it,
Yeah,
right? And the business is a nice additional thing, right?
that's
If
exactly right. Most people that I know, and I know some people that have that and they do that own food trucks, they don't do it for the money.
No,
They do it
they
because
do it because they
the
love doing it.
freedom for themselves, but they
Yeah,
love to cook.
yeah,
And they love and a lot of them are they might have a theme, but
right,
they're always the next time you go, there's always a different menu or there's a different special or there's a
right,
different something,
right.
and they get to do that, to circle back on this, that's something that you can do for yourself at your
Totally.
house. Come up with your own menus, your own creations, look and decide what you like and don't like, and, you know,
Yeah, make your own
be your own
decisions.
food truck.
Be your own food truck. Yeah, exactly. For your, I mean, if it's something that you get good at, um, people will come find you and have you cook for them. You'll be asked to cook at parties and things like that. But in the end, it really is about enjoying that. I'm a big fan of going into a supermarket, or I will like sometimes go to an international market and go, wonder what that ingredient is, wonder what that tastes like, right?
Right?
And learning how to use it. And more 9 out of 10 times it turns out amazing. Every once in a while, you eat something and go, not doing that again. you
Well,
know,
it's fun being the guy that goes to a
yeah,
quote potluck or the Super Bowl party, and you make something from
hmm
scratch, and everybody else is bringing the pre-made dips or
pre-made.
just the veggie tray or
Yeah,
whatever,
I got it at the
and
supermarket.
and and you can create. I mean, I have a buffalo chicken dip that I made a couple ti and every time I come, I get requests for it, and it's
Yeah,
takes a little bit of work, but it's not that hard.
no,
And
no,
usually I make big old batch and it comes back and I can pack and it's kinda spicy and I
yeah,
can roll that up just different things, but I can eat on that stuff for a week and I mix it in,
yeah,
with breakfast and make some eggs with the chicken,
yeah,
spicy chicken and different stuff it's kinda cool when you go and people say, "Who made that?" And they sometimes they're saying, "Oh, it's"
yeah,
but, and so it's like, "Oh, you did
yeah.
that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did, and it was
Yeah,
fun."
I love
"Wow,
that.
can I get your
You did that?
recipe?"
You did
"Yeah."
that? Yes, I
Oh, I
did
know.
that.
It's
It's like,
talking about men, it's people get surprised that
well, apparently being male means you can't do stuff. That's the preconceived notion. And it is funny. I say when I go shopping at the supermarket, it's these women who are walking around filling their carts. They're looking at me like, oh, his wife probably sent him with a list. No, no, I made the list.
Yep. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes though it's interesting when you really cook something. Long time ago at a different house I used to live in, we had a party and I cooked because I love cooking. I did a sauteed like pork nuts, little pork nuggets,
Uh-huh.
just big chunks of pork, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'd sauteed that in garlic and onions and things like that. and then finish them off in a little bit of soy sauce, lemon juice,
Mm.
green onions, and some sriracha. Just give it that little bit of bite,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And I
Yep.
mixed it all up, and then I put it on in a stainless steel bowl out on the table. And I figured, it's spicy. Few people are going to eat it, and what have you. I went by about 20 minutes later, and it was gone. I was like,
Gone.
"Damn, who
Demolished.
who ate all of this?" It turned out the guy that ate most of it
Mhm.
was he had his we had invited his wife, and she brought her husband with her, and he had just finished his last round of chemotherapy and radiation for, I guess, a cancer diagnosis, and in the process of going through radiation and chemotherapy had lost the sense of taste.
Mm.
And he's the one who ate most of the pork because he goes, "Oh my god, I can taste it."
'Cause he could taste it.
He
He's like,
could taste it.
"Wow."
It was a
Yeah.
strong enough
Couldn't
taste
get
that
enough.
it
Oh,
actually
wow.
it
Awesome.
actually
That's so cool.
activated his taste buds. So, it's yeah, food's pretty cool stuff.
It is.
I've had some of the most amazing conversations around food. And I think it's essential that you don't necessarily need to become a foodie,
No.
but but be good with food.
Did
Understand how it's made, how it's put together. It's don't be like, unfortunately, like there was a study done a few years ago in the LA County school systems, and most kids thought that honey came from a honey bear.
Oh, man. Wow.
That's sad.
That is really sad.
That's sad. And most kids didn't know that potatoes is what you make French fries out of, right? That's wrong on a whole lot of different levels,
Really is.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yep.
it's just teach your children about food, teach yourself about food, teach yourself about food preservation, food preparation. There is so much to learn.
Well, that's
Uh,
it, and where I'm at and growing up, but even now, when we get together and we have gatherings, do you know where everyone gathers when we have these functions?
in the
More
kitchen,
times than not, in the kitchen,
yeah, of course,
around food.
around
Just,
food, it's a thing,
you know,
right? It's everybody. You can't have a party without people going, "What can I bring?"
that exactly.
Right? And
Yep.
that's it's we are, as a society, programmed to feed each other, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. I like that.
Mhm.
If you have an Italian or Greek grandma or a Persian grandma or any kind of grandma from the old world, if you sat down at the table, it doesn't matter if you're 400 pounds, she'd be like, "You're looking skinny. You should eat."
Yeah, right?
It's like, "Ma." But
Oh, it's
at
funny.
the end of the day,
Yeah.
you are only going to have a better life by learning how to feed yourself and your family properly.
Yeah. Learn how
That's
to
it.
cook. Learn how to cook,
Learn
man.
learn how to cook. I mean, the number. I'll put the links to a few of the channels I follow. I follow a lot of cooking folks on YouTube. And I'm not going to try and begin a cooking channel here. There
No.
are people who do it way better than I do, and they are excellent at what they do.
Mhm.
And I would highly recommend you guys go watch them and take notes. Add them to your favorites. Take notes. So I'll
Yep.
put the links to those in the show notes below. And that's it, really. That's all I've got for this evening. Is eat something. You sh- it's like an old grandma.
Eat
You
something.
should eat something.
You should eat something, but make it yourself. And
Make it
I
yourself.
do
Yeah,
enjoy this. Like I said, I enjoy cooking too, and I enjoy different things. And if there's something that I come across, it is so easy. And grab my phone, and you can punch in recipe for whatever it is, and what
whatever it
pops
is.
up and print it out. And if you're a
Hmm.
man that can change a tire, and hopefully most men can change
Yeah,
a tire, if you can change a tire, you can cook something. You don't
dude.
even know how to change a
If you
tire
yeah,
to
if you can
cook
put
something.
gas in your car.
If you can read and you know
Yeah,
measurements, you can cook something, and you might be surprised if you've not really done much of it, what you can do
right.
and what you can get from it, just the self-satisfaction and enjoyment
Yeah,
of
yeah.
creating.
It becomes an interesting, fun journey.
Yeah.
I've got a kitchen full of lots and lots of gear and pots and pans, and I've got tons of sharp knives because I like playing with the sharp knives, and I've become because I've practiced over and over again. I've become very proficient at prepping food at a high rate of speed. But
Yep.
I do that because I enjoy it. I love it. But at the end of the day, you don't have to do the same all of that. But
Mm.
learn to cook.
Yeah.
Understand what it is that when you pick up a bottle of olive oil, it's not all olive oil. Read the labels.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And honey is not all honey. It's just some of it's just, sugar syrup that's got honey flavoring in it. Read the labels.
Yep.
But if
Yeah.
you find really good food, it becomes an interesting journey.
Really does.
It really, really does. And one of my quick one before we go, one of my favorite ones at a farmer's market recently was I'd never heard of it until that time, white nectarines. And I was like, white nectarines? Because they're always yellow, right?
Yeah.
And the guy cut me a piece and on a knife and handed it to me, and I ate it, and I was like, I almost fell to my knees. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Uh-huh.
Right. And I'd never heard of that ingredient. So of course I bought like 5 pounds of white nectarines, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but these are good.
Awesome.
So explore, go have fun with food.
Yes.
Make food your friend. You will live longer, you will live happier, and you will live healthier.
I like it.
That's it.
That's it.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good stuff. Good night, Gracie. Good night, Ramin. Good stuff, man. As always.
Buddy.
All right. Appreciate you. Yep. Have a good one. We'll talk to you. Bye.